If you're a real estate agent wondering if circle prospecting is really worth the time, or if you should just skip it completely, this video is for you. I'm an agent that's been in the business for over 10 years. I've done circle prospecting, I've done warm leads, I've done all kinds of marketing to get my business off the ground and grow my real estate team. So in this video, I'm gonna dive through the pros and cons of circle prospecting so you can decide if it's right for you or if it's not. Let's dive right into it. My name is Chris with New Agent Headquarters. On this channel, we give you all the information you need to build a successful real estate business. So before we get started, I do want to tell you about one thing that could impact your business in a big way. I put together this script book and it has all the scripts that I use along with my real estate team. They're low pressure scripts, and inside you're going to find a script that you can use for circle prospecting. So be sure to download it and check it out. Inside, you're also going to get an invite to our prospecting support group on Facebook where you can network, talk to other agents, and we're also going to be doing some live prospecting calls in there. So make sure to download the guide and then join the Facebook group so we can help you with your prospecting and hopefully help you take more listings. A lot of people talk about circle prospecting, and some people say it's great, other people say it's bad. So if you landed on this video, you've probably heard about circle prospecting. You might have an agent in your office that's having success with it, or maybe you have an agent that just walks around saying circle prospecting is just a complete waste of time, and you're wondering, what should you do? There are many videos online talking about how agents are getting listings using circle prospecting. And then there are other posts and other videos of agents talking about how much they hate circle prospecting and prospecting altogether. So in this video, I'm gonna uncover some of the facts that I found after circle prospecting for many years, and I'm gonna tell you the truth about this lead source. So you might be wondering, what is circle prospecting specifically? And I wanna land on this because before I dive into all the pros and cons, I wanna make sure we're on the same page. First things first, all you're doing is you're calling around a neighborhood of a just listed or a just sold property, and you're farming that neighborhood to find out who might be interested in getting a home value or possibly even selling. One key takeaway with circle prospecting is you're not looking for someone that's gonna sell right now. That's like finding a needle in a haystack. And I find a lot of agents that start this process, they think they're gonna get listings right away. And the truth is, with circle prospecting, that's probably not going to happen unless you get lucky and find that needle in a haystack. The main goal with circle prospecting is building a sales pipeline, building relationships with sellers, and building a pipeline that's gonna give you a consistent real estate income and get you off that real estate roller coaster of the ups and downs that we've all been through that gives us anxiety and really makes us dislike this business. Now, after spending some time using this lead source, I can tell you some of the pros and cons of it. I'm gonna start with some of the cons. Circle prospecting isn't a quick fix. If you're looking for a fast sale, this is not the place to start because you're gonna burn yourself out, you're probably gonna get discouraged, and you're better off looking for more low-hanging fruit, such as for sale by owners, expired leads, and even inbound leads if you have a budget to pay for those. But circle prospecting isn't the place to get immediate sales. If you need those, I would highly advise you build your skills up and look in a different lead category, like the ones I just mentioned. Now, although circle prospecting isn't a quick fix and you're not gonna get instant sales, it's a great way to build a sales pipeline that gives you a consistent income over time. One of the biggest things with circle prospecting is staying consistent and constantly doing it so you can build up that pipeline, build up those follow-ups, and start getting those stable, consistent amounts of listings inbound to your business. Another big upside to it is you get to pick the neighborhood that you want to sell in. If you want to sell $1 million homes, great, circle prospect $1 million neighborhoods. If you want to sell luxury condos, great, circle prospect areas where there are big amounts of luxury condos. And that goes for anything. Whatever neighborhood you want to work in, you get to pick. And that's the coolest part of circle prospecting, is you get to build a business in a specific neighborhood or a specific area that you want to sell in. And this can be based on your price point. It could be based on the style of homes. It could be based on where it's geographically located. For example, if you want to sell lake homes or you want to sell homes next to a ski resort, there are all different things you can do with circle prospecting because it's so pinpointed, and you can pick where you want to prospect and pick where you want to make your sales and pick what relationships you want to build with what homeowners. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is setting the right expectations. Circle prospecting is not something you're going to see overnight success with. It's going to take time, it's going to take effort, and you're going to have to show up on a regular basis, I would say at least 3 or 4 times a week, and make these calls. We currently do this and we get an average of 3 to 10 new seller leads to nurture every single week. Now, when I say nurture, I mean this is a long-term follow-up. These people that we're talking to might want to sell in 6 months. They might want to sell in 12 months. They might want to sell in 3 months. It's our job to stay on top of these leads and then convert them into appointments and build the relationships. The circle prospecting just gets your foot in the door. Think about it like farming. This is really the high-hanging fruit that nobody's going for. You have to go up there, you have to shake the trees, and then whatever falls down, now you have to nurture that to make it an appointment, to make it a sale. That's where all the legwork comes in. But the hard part that nobody wants to do is the high-hanging fruit. That's circle prospecting. And that's why this lead source is something that you can really get a good competitive advantage, because not a lot of agents are calling it, because it's hard work, there is a lot of rejection, and you have to be ready for that going into it. So if you're up for that challenge, I highly recommend it. If you're not, then I would skip over this lead source completely. Now, if you're still interested in circle prospecting after all that and it didn't scare you away, I'm gonna show you some of the tools that I use for circle prospecting, and if you wanna check them out, there's an affiliate link down below in the description where you'll get different sales and discounts. So I'm gonna take you to my screen, I'm gonna show you the back end of a tool that is called REDX, and this is how I do circle prospecting. So from here, I'm gonna take you into REDX. This is the tool that I was telling you about, and what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna basically find a property to circle prospect around. And the coolest thing about REDX is they just had a new tool put into it which tells you which percentage of homes are turning over in that specific neighborhood, so you know how likely you are to find someone that might want to list. So I'm gonna go to Zillow right now and I'm just gonna look through and see what research we can do. So what I typically do is when I start this process, I go into MLS, I find a newly listed property or a list of newly listed properties, and then I'll start checking to see if it makes sense to start circle prospecting. Now, you're gonna see some really cool data here. So let's pick this address real quick. This looks like a really nice house. So once I have the address copied, I'm gonna go here and I'm gonna just punch it into here and I'm gonna see what kind of data comes up. So with this property specifically, it looks like the nearest 50 homes have a 6% turnover rate. So that basically means on average, out of those 50 homes, 6% of those are gonna sell per year. But 50 homes is not enough data to get a good idea on what you're dealing with. I would do at least 500 homes around the area. So if you click out and you go to 500, what's gonna happen is you're going to get some data back. Now, see, now it fell below, it's at 4% now. Now, what I would do in this particular situation is I would probably skip this neighborhood and I would go to something else, okay? You wanna find a different neighborhood to prospect, and what I would typically look for is anything over 6%. I've seen some neighborhoods that are closer to 8 or 9%, and those typically have really good results, and a lot of people that we talk to have some interest in selling. But with that being said, if it's a neighborhood that you do absolutely want to work in and you want to farm that neighborhood, then I would call it anyway, even if it's a low percentage of turnover, because you want to start building your brand in that neighborhood, and you want to call that list on a regular basis because you want to be that local trusted agent in that specific area. Now, once you decide what property you want, all you have to do is press create leads, and it's going to pull all this data for you, and it's going to neatly put it over here for you so you can start calling. And that's the coolest thing about REDX is it's very easy to use, and it also has a power dialer. So I'm never gonna hand dial leads again after using this. Hand dialing takes so much time. It's a total waste of time. If you're gonna do circle prospecting without a power dialer, it's absolutely crazy in my opinion, because it's gonna take so much time. You're not gonna get anything done, and you're probably gonna burn yourself out. We have the triple line dialer, and basically what that does is it dials 3 numbers at once, and then while you're going through that, if somebody answers, it drops the other calls and then it picks up where you left off. So it's a really easy system to use, and we can get hundreds of calls done, pretty quickly. I mean, this thing really dials quick. And when somebody answers, you'll hear a beep, and then you answer and talk, have a conversation, and then you can leave notes right in the system when you want to follow up or when you don't want to follow up. So it's really good in that sense. So if you want to start circle prospecting, I highly suggest a system like this. Another reason I would suggest a system like this is you want to stay away from do not call list and do not call phone numbers. And you need a tool that's able to screen through the phone numbers and pick the numbers that are do not call numbers and get them off of your list so you don't end up calling them and getting heavy real estate fines. That's one of the best things about this is when I do dial, I know I'm not going to get myself in any trouble because it's screening the do not call list and it's making sure I'm not calling those specific leads that are on the do not call list. So this is a great system if you want to start circle prospecting. We use it almost every day with my real estate team and it's been great. One thing to note about it is with circle prospecting, because it's pulling all this raw data, is it's a numbers game. There's going to be a lot of bad numbers, but that's why you need a power dial, because it's going to power dial right past those. You mark them as bad numbers and you just keep going, right? If you're trying to hand dial this is going to be overwhelming and I don't recommend it at all. Now, if you're doing for sale by owner or expired leads, hand dialing is totally fine, but circle prospecting is a totally different beast. And if you're going to try to tackle it, invest the little bit of money necessary to get the power dialer. Last but not least, I want to go over what to expect. If you circle prospect, what's probably going to happen is you're going to get a couple people per day that you have good conversations with. Out of those people, you might get one or two that end up being people you can follow up with long term, and that's where the fortune is. The fortune is all in the follow-up. You want to make sure you're building out your database, your pipelines, and all that stuff so you're following up with these people on a regular basis, building the relationship, and then over time, you're going to have a big list of people that you're following up with that are, quality homeowners that are probably going to sell at some point, and you're going to be their trusted agent as long as you stay in front of them and as long as you continue to build that relationship. That's what circle prospecting can do. What it's not going to do for you is it's not going to get you instant results. It's not going to get you instant listings. And if you're looking for that right now, then I would highly suggest you stay away from this completely, because it's only going to discourage you and it's going to distract you from going after those other lead sources like for sale by owner, expired leads, and maybe even your sphere of influence who might be referring you business. But if you have a little bit of time and you want to build a pipeline that can be a much more stable, consistent income once you build it up, then this can be a great way to do it. So I highly suggest looking into it if you're looking to build a pipeline and build a business that has a lot of relationships being nurtured over time so you can start getting those consistent sales that we all look for. So I hope this video was helpful. If it is, drop a comment in the comment section below. I look forward to hearing from you, and you have an awesome day. Thanks for tuning in to New Agent HQ. On this channel, we try to give you all the resources to be confident and successful as a new agent from day one. If you like this kind of content, smash the like button and subscribe, and be sure to check out this video here. I think you'll enjoy it.